You're listening to RTI.
Well, one of these should work. I don't know which one it is, but one of these will work. He says, hoping and praying. Oh, well, it's, one. Hello, people. Are you out there? I think I'm there, but I'm not sure. Yes, we're definitely doing something, but I'm not sure what something I'm doing. But that's just me. Are you all right?
I think I'm all right. Oh, I sound a bit weird.
You're very all right.
Is that good?
Yeah, you're louder than me.
Well, yeah, that's been said.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I better do that then. We'll better get on with the show, I suppose.
Well, yes.
Down we go.
This is Radio Tetris International, Postcard from Poprad.
I think it's a bizarre idea.
Well, it doesn't sound broken.
We've had a bit of a rewind.
Ian, I've got something to say. I was waiting for my moment.
Lee and I have lots of fun when we do these funny little things that we do.
In all honesty, I don't get
It'll
it.
be like a menage a trois.
I'm actually sitting here in my scanties.
Now see what you've done, Rachel.
I've got to tell you, though, it's pretty hilarious.
Oh, right.
Absolutely not. It's because you mended the studio and you broke everything.
What an idiot.
RTI.
Well, I think that's me.
Well,
I'm coming out of there, aren't I?
I'm coming out of there as well. I'm coming out all over the
Why
place.
are you doing that?
Well, it sounds very nice to me. It's a bit buzzy in my ear.
Is it?
Yeah, so going back to what I've just said on that promo, you've mended the studio again, haven't you?
Yeah, and I broke it.
Yeah, broke it. Yeah. It's made out of bits of old wood, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Screens he found on a skip.
I think I'm working on that one. But then you're louder than me.
Well, like I said, we've just had this conversation, actually. What are you looking at now?
I heard a voice.
It was me.
No, it wasn't you. It was me. Oh, let's try that. Is that better?
What, are you talking into the microphone now?
Well, I think so.
You see, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls and anybody else who's listening, including Rachel, I have to teach him how to do this job now, because he's got that old, he can't cope.
Oh, shut up. This ain't not right. I don't know what it is.
That's the song, Leslie. I don't know what it is. What's that song?
I don't know.
I don't either. Somebody tell us what that song is. I don't know what it is.
I don't know what it is. Oh, I do know what it is.
Oh, what is it?
Ah,
Heck.
yes.
What have you done? Have you got the wrong knob out?
No.
Stop twisting your knob.
I think that's a bit better now.
Is that better now?
Yeah.
It still sounds a bit like... It sounds like being in a spaceship, but that's nice.
Is it?
It's like being in the TARDIS, except we haven't got any telephone.
TARDIS?
That's how it sounds. It's part of... Listen, it's
What?
good.
Oh, all right. I can turn me down now because I'm not so loud now.
Can you turn me down? You've turned me down all your life, every time I've propositioned you.
Welcome, boys and girls.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. How are you? Yes, we've moved into a new studio. That's the problem.
Well, it's the same studio.
Well, same building, but different studio.
Yeah, different thing.
Different stuff.
And but if you can see, there's all holes in it as well.
No, there isn't holes in it.
There's a big hole next to you.
Well, nobody can see that.
I'm showing them. Look to the right of him.
No, they can't see.
Well, have a look. Stand up so you can see.
They can't see.
There's a big hole. Who are we talking to? I can't see anything.
Camera has panned left. We can't see you or Lee Boy. I know that's probably a good thing. I'll try and move it for you in a minute, Paul. But you will find I'm in the shot now.
Am I not in the shot?
No.
I'm going home then.
No, you're in the other one.
Which one?
That one.
That shot that I can't see there either.
That's right.
I can't see me.
I know. But there you
Well,
go.
you can see me. See, that's what you're doing. Look at you going all flushed now, aren't you?
Oh, dear.
Oh, dear, oh,
It's
dear.
too much for me to cope with. Anyway, it's Postcard from Poprad.
Is it?
With a new thing.
Yeah.
We've got a new thingy. What are we going to do? We better say hello to Andre and to Mer and to... Mer? Mer.
I bet she's married to frankincense.
Bit gold?
Well, no, that'll be the ring.
Oh, gosh. Anyway, because I'm confused,
He is confused, honestly.
It's like driving a new car when you
That's
put,
what he said.
You put the new studio in and everything's in the wrong place. But we will get some Postcard from Poprad done shortly.
And it is made of wood.
It is actually, isn't it?
You've got a wooden car. Oh. That's nice, actually. Fred Flintstone had one of them, didn't he?
It's a Morgan.
Oh, my friend actually rebuilt a Morgan. It had an ash thing.
It's a Morgan studio.
That's it. We've got a Morgan studio.
Ooh.
With your girl car parked outside and my Bentley broken down.
It's not a girl car.
It is a girl car.
Not a girl car.
Still a girl car. Looks like a frog.
We had a better picture on satellite surgery 25 years ago. No, we didn't. We didn't have any pictures on the wireless show. We did have Pucker. Hey, oh, Paul's just given me a good idea.
Who?
Uncle Paul.
Oh, right, yeah. Go on then.
Overmodulated today.
Who's over-modulating?
We're overmodulated a bit. Well, we probably are actually, but I can't do nothing about that today.
No, we are over-modulating deliberately.
Are we?
I don't know what it means.
No,
but
you
I
don't. You don't know. No.
I do.
What?
What? Modulating.
Yeah.
Modulating. It's a technical term for a bit boomy sound, isn't it?
Yeah, it is actually.
See.
I'll see what it is. Number 4. Let's take it down to number 3. There you go, chaps. I've done it for you. That should be all right now.
Are we still over-modulating?
Uncle Steve.
Him.
Yes.
Him.
But he's good with his ears, you see. That's the trouble.
He's good with his what?
Ears.
That's because they're gigantic.
He's got big ears.
He's got massive ears. Have you never seen?
Does he live with Noddy?
He's like a...
Let's get on with some news. Go on, you can start off.
Rick Ocasek. Honestly, I can't read it now. You've changed the studio around. I can't read the list. Anyway, Rick Ocasek. Do you remember him? He was the lead singer of the Cars.
I know.
Yeah, and that song Drive, which actually I thought was a load of rubbish, became associated with Live Aid in 1985.
It was the most dramatic.
But it had nothing to do with it.
Well, it didn't, but it did because
No, it didn't. It can't.
it was
It
that clever,
nothing.
the clever video editor who, what he actually did was, he got the children's soundtrack to
Yeah.
match the audio of the song.
Yeah.
And that's what that was what was just so
It
dramatic.
was that was the genius. I have to admit it was a bit of genius, but it really actually the song had nothing to do with the subject.
Not really, no.
But who's going to drive you home and stuff like that was.
Well, I suppose in one way it was right because it was like who's going to care for you tonight,
Yeah.
and I think it had that was part of it.
Yeah.
But whether or not the overall thing was right or wrong, no, I wouldn't know. But the fact is, it has been remembered as kind of
I've got an itch.
Live Aid. You can't itch yourself on the cameras, Ron.
Yeah, well, I'm not on screen.
Oh, no, it's a bit like that which we can't say,
What?
which was Bob Geldof's famous F word.
Yeah.
When he was after money.
Yeah.
Now people remember that. They remember Quo. They remember Queen, and they remember the
Queen were brilliant.
They were good actually.
Yeah.
And they remember Drive by the Cars. It's those four things that are probably the most remembered.
It actually says here that it was wholly out of context. But it was because when Colin Dean, an engineer working for the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, was editing harrowing images of the disaster, he ran it against that. It was a work of genius, really.
In terms
and
of
its own, yeah,
it was just the clever video editing that made the
yeah,
difference.
that's right. It just happened. It just worked somehow.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's dead.
When he was off the money, nothing remembered. Oh, Joe's look cute. What?
What? Who's that?
Close.
Was that Big Ears?
Oh no! Yes.
No, yes.
Steve remembers the comments about getting money in because it wasn't doing as well as Bob Geldof wished.
Yeah.
And so he used the F word.
Ow!
What?
What's it?
You got an itch again?
Yeah.
Gosh. Mitchell says, move the camera further over so we can see your lovely faces.
Yeah, do it.
I can't, because I can't reach
What can't you reach?
the cameras.
Do you want me to reach the cameras?
No.
Why?
Because you'll knock the other ones over.
Well, there's two of them. I can see them.
I know, but you'll knock one over getting to the other
I
one.
won't. I'll do it. I'll be a good boy.
I'll tell you what we do. When we get to the commercial break, we'll have a move.
That's in half an hour.
No, 20 minutes.
Well, that's 20 minutes without seeing my gorgeousness.
Be very difficult to do. I'll think about it, guys. Hi, Tim. How are
Hi,
you?
Tim.
Hello, Tim. Hello to Marion as well, who's just joined us. Nice to have your company.
Is she a made man? Sorry.
You're not sorry at all.
No, not at all. I've got an itch.
You got an itch.
Still got an itch. Oh, God.
How come you got an itch?
I don't know. But it's where it is.
Ah,
It's a good job it's not on camera.
very true. We don't want to see that.
No.
No, never, ever, 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 ever.
No.
Moving on.
Fernando Rickson.
What? Why did you miss out the Hungarian chap?
Oh, missed him out, didn't I?
Yeah.
Georgie Conrad.
Yeah, why did you miss out
Because I'm blind.
Georgie Conrad? I mean, come on, he was a distant writer.
A dissident.
A dissident
Not
writer.
a distant writer.
No. And I actually chose this one because I started, so everybody knows, working on the 30th anniversary of the Quiet Revolution, which Western Press turned into the Velvet Revolution.
Yes.
Because it's 30 years ago in November.
Well, actually, I have to say something very quickly, as we've not mentioned the ConsumerWatchFoundation.com.
Blimey.
And we've also not mentioned the new show, which is called Slovak Voices.
Blimey.
And in 2 weeks' time, Dad is actually going to be discussing that.
Blimey.
Yeah.
That's good, isn't it?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What time's it on?
Sunday evenings,
Sunday evenings, late.
11 o'clock.
11 o'clock.
UK time.
You gay time? Why are you calling me gay for?
I said UK time.
Oh, sorry. Everybody thinks I'm gay now, you know.
Well, you are gay.
I'm only gay in a gay way.
Stupid new iOS is messing up. iOS is messing up? What's iOS got to do with it? That's Apple. There. Anyway, Georgie, he's got to the great old age of 86,
Yeah.
And he was one of the guys in Hungary who famously wrote against the communist society and got himself into all sorts of trouble, but he never gave up.
No.
He never, ever gave up. And he was like so many at that time who just didn't give up. This is just really sad. Fernando Rickson, he was a footballer.
Yeah, this is sad. He did a bit of hard living, but...
No, but he was a footballer, for goodness sake. He wasn't one of these who went, oh, he nearly hit me with a cigarette paper, I'm going to dive on the floor. He was a pucker footballer, not one of these stupid things.
But he lived a hard life, didn't he? And he's good on him.
Yeah, no sweat for that.
And he's 43, wasn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. It's really sad.
Neuron.
Yes, I do remember Valerie Van Alst.
She was gorgeous.
That's why I remember her.
She was gorgeous. And she didn't get a kit off.
Pardon?
She didn't get her kit off.
No, it was only Babs that got a kit off.
Yeah, Babs.
Babs got her Babs out.
I was just going to say that.
Babs got her Babs out. Nobody else did. Oh, that's working rather well. I'm just looking at the... I'm sorry, I'm being an anorak now, boys and girls. I'm just looking across the studio at the little screens and all the little things that go up and down. Look, Lee, when you talk, that little screen goes up and down there. See the blue
look
line?
at that. Ooh.
No, not that loud, for goodness sake.
No, right. Oh, I can see how loud I am. That's my pride. Is that me over-modulating?
Yes.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
Anyway, she's dead, isn't she, Valerie Van Alst?
Yeah, poor old girl. 75.
Never got a baps out.
75, so that's 7 years left for you then.
Well, yes.
You.
It's very rude, isn't it?
I know.
Anyway, 75. Oh, she was in the Avengers, you know.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, nice one. Anyway, I've been falling about in hysterics because, I've been going on for ages saying it'll all come together at the end.
What will?
The Brexit thing. It's been 2 years of playing poker. Right. So I've been saying this for such a long time. I got bored with saying it, so I gave up saying it.
So he's saying it now.
Oh, God, what's he say? Paul's off again about his apple. He loves apples.
Who does, Paul?
Yeah, and he loves celery as well.
Eddie else gets to the core of the subject, doesn't he?
He peels out all over the place. iOS changed to 13 this week. Really?
Really?
It's amazing, and you can't use it for your shoddy, inconsiderate camera angle placement. Well,
See?
then it's rubbish.
It's only because he wants to look at me.
I know. Well, if I move out of the way, Teddy's there. I'll do that.
Aye.
Hey, Teddy.
What, are you on camera and I'm not?
Yeah.
Honest to
I'm on.
God.
You're on this camera.
You probably can't see it.
Well, no, you can't, because if you could see it, then I couldn't see it and say hello to all the people.
Well, I could say hello to the people.
I'll think about it. Anyway, Roman's there as well.
That's
Hi, mate.
Hello, Roman.
Hello. You're over-modulating again.
I'm over-modulating Roman.
Yes. Being rather loud. I'll turn him down a little bit now when we got there. Anyway.
Right, I'm saying, oh, look at still over-modulating.
Yeah, you're doing it again. You can see. See, when I tell you off about this every week, now you can see what is going. Boys and girls, we've got this other screen that has all pretty pictures on it in the studio now as well, to tell people what they're doing, so I don't have to tell them what they're doing. Yeah. And if I try and shout loud, you can see what happens. It goes really.
Yeah, but how loud did you have to shout to do that? I've only got to go like that.
Yeah, look, you've got tons of it.
Woo-hoo-hoo!
It's just so loud.
I am very noisy, I have to admit. Andrew tells me.
He is very noisy. Yeah, he's absolutely noisy. The lovely Debbie Flint has joined us.
Hello, Debbie.
Debbie.
Debbie. Oh, don't get you.
Debbie, do you have this trouble at work?
What?
Where you pick up these people, waifs and strays, walking around, undernourished. You bring them into your studio complex, feed them, put them on air as an assistant, and then you just can't stop them.
Debs, I'm really hungry. I'm starving hungry. I've got an itch in an unmentionable place.
Right.
And now I've got a headache.
Well, that's because you're too loud.
I know I've given myself a headache, Debs.
So anyway, here we go.
Anyway, we're talking about this.
We're talking about that silly woman, Jo Swinson.
Well, is she silly?
Yes.
Why is she silly?
Because she's decided she's going to be Prime Minister.
She is, without actually having any votes.
Yeah.
Like the rest of them. Like the rest of our Prime
fair
Ministers.
play to her. She's saying, if I get enough votes and I become PM, then we're going to ignore everybody in England because we won't be leaving the EU. Yeah. Can't you turn him off totally?
Who says
I don't want to do that, Steve. I don't want to turn him off totally.
Yeah.
And Debbie says, hello.
Hello, Debbie.
Actually, it was really nice to see some videos of her with Philip Schofield a couple of weeks ago.
Philip Schofield?
Yes.
Yeah. I bought a car off him.
Yeah. Never did. I don't believe you. Now, Debbie's never had to suffer anybody, apparently, like you.
Oh, thank you, Debs.
Yeah,
I've been really nice.
Then she says, laughing out loud. So anyway, this Jo Swinson has said, we won't be leaving the European Union, even though everybody voted for it.
She's just an eccentric who's got loads of money, and she's doing. But like she says, she doesn't need votes. You know, Boris Johnson got in without any votes.
But anyway, the plot of silliness continues.
A pot of silliness?
A plot of silliness. The Finnish Prime Minister was going ranting on about Britain's only got 12 days to sort out the Brexit plans to the EU.
I think that's a fair comment. We should be
No, wait. No, it gets better. Then you've got Antti-Rinne. Antti-Rinne, he's the Luxembourgy fella. And
what a knob.
And the French guy, Emmanuel Macron.
Do you know, he has as many people in his...
He made really good films at one time, didn't he? Oh, no, that was a girl. Emmanuel.
Oh,
stop it!
Yeah, you've done that. That's
don't go there, Mrs.
itch has come back now.
I can imagine. Anyway, apparently Macron agreed that the UK needed to come up with some proposals, and then this week, the lovely Jo. Yep. She went out from Sky News. To talk.
I'm reading the wrong story. That's why I don't know what you're talking about.
She went out to talk to Jean-Claude Juncker.
Van Damme.
No, not Van Damme. Juncker. And the beauty was, she came back with this.
What?
And wow, is this amazing.
I had a meeting with Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister. This was a rather positive meeting. although the British press was reporting it in the other way. We can have a deal, but I'm doing everything to have a deal, because I don't like the idea of a no deal, because this would have catastrophic consequences. It's better and for Britain and for the European Union. I'm convinced that Brexit will happen.
That's what the man said. And not only that, he said, I'm not over worried about the Northern Ireland border. We can do a deal. Now, he actually said in the interview, and if you haven't seen it yet, what you can do is watch the whole thing on Sky News tonight, later on tonight. Then he says, very silly woman, but good news for Boris. Taking votes from Labour means Tory gets lots of constituencies as Corbyn voters flee away. I can see that. I can see that.
But the thing is about... Oh, sorry, go on then.
Steve says, now we've got her, the monster raving loonies are finished. Oh, dear, I can think of somebody else that's going to be... The fact is, these people have been going, you've got to do this, you've got to do this, moaning. And the boss, because don't forget, this guy's what they call a president, and he does what he likes, because he's the main influence. He said, backstop's not a problem. We must get the deal done. I've had a nice chat with Boris. They probably had a couple of glasses of wine each. And everything's going to be marvellous.
The thing is...
And do you know why he wants to do it?
Why?
Because he leaves his presidential role on the 31st of October. He doesn't want to be the man whose legacy is, I left the EU with no deal to the UK. He doesn't want that. This is what Boris has been played on.
Boris... I know big ears won't agree, and I know there's lots of people out there who will attack me for this, but actually give Boris the opportunity to do what the country wants somebody to do, and with the way he's been playing it is actually potentially very clever. He's either very stupid or very clever.
And I have to, this is going to be really hard for me, and I actually agree with Jean-Claude Juncker for a change, because I don't normally. And one of the comments he said in the full interview was how the press were getting it wrong in the UK. And don't go off into one.
I might.
You might not. Don't go off into one yet. I haven't finished my sentence. I'm just taking breath. Now, the fact is that his comment was made on the fact that the negativity there was incorrect, because the journalists are not on the mainland of Europe. And my point no, they're not. My point has always been the same. I watch British news output, and I watch Slovak news output. A little bit of Polish, because I can understand a little bit of that. So I get away with a lot of news, right? Now, people over this side of Europe are not that happy with Brussels, like everybody in the UK.
Of course they're not, no.
Well, you know that yourself now, because you live here. And that's always my point. I don't know anybody from the BBC that lives here. So how can they report on what people are saying here?
Well,
they can't.
Well, they can. Yes, you can. That's that. Now we're arguing a totally different case.
No, you need to have people on the ground, and they were here once. The BBC,
of course they were.
And they did report properly when the financial crash took place, because Slovakia was one of the strongest countries to come out. But the point is, they're not getting the same news in the UK. And the news to the UK, which we can do and others can't, because nobody else seems to give a damn. And do you have a link for the full interview, Eric? Yes, I do. If you go to skynews.com, Debbie, not now, don't go, not now, for goodness sake, we're in the middle of a program. Skynews.com. And go there, or you can go to YouTube/Sky News, and you'll find the full interview there as well. It's on both.
You could also go to the ConsumerWatchFoundation.com. You wouldn't find it there, but I've not mentioned it for ages. No, I understand what you're saying.
But the point is, you now know, because you live here, you're getting under the skin of the place, as it were, that not everybody in this part of the world thinks that Brussels is wonderful.
No, but nobody said it is. And it's unfair. It's churlish to say that journalists on the mainland Britain can't monitor what's going on here. They've monitored what's going on here for centuries.
Now they're monitoring it.
Yeah.
But you've got a better sort of stance on what's happening here because you live here.
Yeah.
They should be hiring you.
Well, they can if they want, but it's not.
He's not that expensive. Don't worry.
I am sometimes.
Bag of jelly beans.
It's the fact is the news. We are now an open world for communication, for news, for information, and it's not a difficult job to monitor what other people are saying about it. But actually, at the moment, the point is that actually Britain doesn't give a stuff about what people in Slovakia are saying about Brexit and things like that.
No, that's not the point. That isn't my point.
But then there's no point to it.
Yes, there is, because if you say something's kind of okay, and that's your journalistic prerogative to do that, it's no problem. If it is that people in another part of the world are actually going, we don't like it that much either. Yeah. It makes a different context to the thing.
But you will see that. You will see that attitude. But it's not the attitude. We are in crisis in Britain. Britain is falling apart. Democracy is being destroyed. The country's ignoring all its own problems so we can watch all these idiots trying to make a deal over something. And and that is really what the media is focused on. Yeah. People have complained that the media didn't cover the Spanish floods very well. Well, they did. But actually, again...
But is that important to an English viewer?
No, but...
reader?
Well...
Little bit, yes.
Yeah, it is, because where people go on holiday. And, we live in Spain as well. And it's actually happening in the place that we live in.
Right.
So people are interested and people have got family out there. But what it is, the focus in the media has to be on the iniquities of Brexit and how our country's going to survive.
Here's the context then. 2 factories, no injuries, none whatsoever, no fatality, nobody's hurt. They both explode at the same time. Yeah. You're a news guy in England. 1 factory's in England, 1 factory's in Slovakia. Which one do you put at the top?
Well, it depends
England.
England, of course it would. But it depends what it is. The factory that exploded into the news, this was to do with oil and petrol and getting to work and heating your home and everything else. So that was important. If it was an ice cream factory in the Czech Republic that exploded, that actually would be treated as a bit of a joke. If it was a steel factory in Britain that put everybody out of work and stopped a lot of production, then it would go up the news agenda.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not as important to that side of Europe as it is here. No, I mean, for example, you get the news here, and honestly, boys and girls, this is true. The crime rate is such here that if a small village post office was robbed during the day, that would make national news television.
Of course it would.
Because there's so little of it. Yeah. Would that get to England? No, not a chance.
No, it wouldn't. And if a post office was robbed in Britain, it wouldn't really make the news. It did 20 years ago, but it wouldn't make much of an impact on the news agenda. No. The news agendas have changed dramatically in the last 20 years, and particularly in the last 10 years. And now people complain constantly about the news agendas, but they're right. We are we are a global industry now, and we have to cover all subjects.
Talking of which, Habibi is in India and says, "Where are you guys? We're in Slovakia.
We're in the studio. Where are you?" Habibi. I must tell you about...
Could you just be quiet?
No.
You're hurting my ears.
Well, stop listening to me.
That's a really nice idea. That's the best idea he's had in weeks. Before you start off again, comments. A couple from Steve, obviously. I bet Lee wouldn't last 5 minutes on the BBC. They'd sack him as soon as he mentioned CWF.
Well, they did actually.
It's true, Steve.
about 8 years ago, because they upset the farmers in Britain.
Quick anorak question. Was there a second station on the ship with Radio England? Yes, there was. It was called Britain Radio.
Who's that?
Steve. And I can't remember the name of the ship as it goes off the top of my head. If I go into the office, I could tell you.
Yeah, look it up on the internet.
Interweb. No, or actually, shameless plug department.
Yes, CWF, Consumer Watch Foundation.
There's a blog called, what's it called? Offshore Rate. Actually, if you go to a page called Offshore Radio Memories on Facebook, Offshore Radio Memories, there's a load of links there to all my watery wireless blogs, which will give you all the answers you want to know. And there's actually recordings of just about in fact, I think every offshore radio you can listen to from that page.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it's all there.
How interesting.
Would the Great Train Robbery made as much of an impact on the news today?
Well, it would in its own way, because it would be more impactful, because there'd be more money on the train.
It wouldn't be a million, was it? How much was it?
I think it was $1 million, wasn't it? It wasn't a massive amount of money. It's like the Brinksmat.
It was then.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Then it was fortunate. But the Brinksmat robbery it was the equivalent to the Great Train Robbery. I don't think they carry money on trains now. But yeah,
a couple of pouches. That's about it.
Yeah, and if an equivalent thing happened in the UK today, it would have as much impact on the news agenda, because it was shocking. It's the shock value, not the actual thing that's happened. That was shocking because the driver got hit over the head and ultimately died because of his injuries a decade later.
Hello, by the way, hello to Maria, who's been invited to listen by Habibi.
Habibi.
She's been our marketing department.
I want to tell you about, because he's in India, isn't he? Right?
Is that a boy or a girl?
I don't know. Are you a boy or a girl, baby?
Anyway. Are you a boy or a girl? Stop it. Anyway, do the train robbery first.
Yeah. I've just done the train robbery.
No, but I think it would, if, as you say, the trains were carrying the dosh.
If you robbed a train, all you get is a couple of packets of Chris and a bottle of Vimto.
Yeah.
Now, you wouldn't get
other soft drinks and refreshments are available. Let's move on.
It's the shock value of the story.
Yeah.
Let me just say this. This is for BBB. Yeah, over the border in Pakistan, right, there is a youthful organisation who claim to be news vendors and distributors called GB News, right? Now, it's based on a broadcaster, a journalist, his name escapes me. Now, they have been sharing stories. Whoa.
Oh, I lost it. Read the Great Train Robbery, yeah? Did Lee cover that story?
I'm trying to think. Maybe I did.
Oh, heck.
When was it? It was 1965, wasn't it? No, I wasn't even born then, you cheeky monkey.
You were?
I was nearly born.
You were born?
I was just hanging on in there. I wouldn't come out. No,
you're right.
Hello,
Saf.
Hello, Saf. Anyway, so this GB News organisation, right, have been sharing Consumer Watch Foundation stories, which is wonderful. I'm quite happy for them to do that. But I wrote to them, right, just saying, thank you for sharing our stories. It's really good of you. Tell me about your news organisation and maybe we could do something. We could share yours. So what they did, they sent me a bill for €2 to continue sharing, so I told them to get stuffed.
Can't say as I blame you. Justin Trudeau has been in trouble because he blacked up. Now, I have a problem with this story. Lock, stock and smoking barrel.
I knew you would. That's one reason I thought it was a good one because I knew you wouldn't like this.
No, and I don't, because people shouldn't be bringing up things. It's like, okay, when I was a kid, there was a programme on the BBC called The Black and White Minstrels.
Yeah, it's a different thing.
No, listen, Black and White Minstrels. And they will not show it on television now.
Yeah.
I think that is totally wrong.
I know.
Because what they're doing is rewriting history or writing out history.
Not rewriting history. It still exists. It's still there.
Where?
Well, it's on YouTube. It's in the archives at the BBC. It's wherever you want it. Yeah, you can still, and it was part of history.
Yeah.
So was beheading. You know,
True.
You can't continue that just because of it. And the thing with Justin Trudeau,
excuse me, they still do it.
Well, they do beheading. Yeah, but not in Britain.
No, that's true.
Yeah, and it used to be legal to be gay. And I'm not actually gay. Why do people think I'm gay?
Because you just are. But anyway, back to the point. People moaned about this with Justin Trudeau.
Yeah.
And if you think about it logically, this is so stereotypical of the snowflake era.
No.
Because what they should do is be going, blimey, he changed his face to brown, like mine. That's really a great compliment.
It just isn't, though, is it?
It is a compliment. Why would you brown your face up if you don't think the other people are better than you?
That's just not because it's taking the mickey. Because it's that though. Now I've upset the Irish.
Yeah.
And what Trudeau did in 2001, which is 18 years ago, was not such a bad thing at that time. Mm-hmm. But the reason it's become an important issue is because it goes against the grain of his policies. Mm-hmm. And it brings into question his political intent. And what is there to prove
but
that
that's
he
the same. I'm going to take it out of the racist area for a second, just to make it simple. At one time, I was the voice of shortwave radio because of what I was doing with the BBC.
That's because you're little.
Very good. So that I was, in fact, one time the managing director of Dixon's, the old Dixon's shops, phoned me up. He said, "Eric, are you doing some satellite shortwave radio now?" So I said, "Yes." He said, "Oh, that explains it. We've sold out." And they'd sold a year's worth of radios in 1 month.
Yeah, but what's that got to do with Trudeau?
But I couldn't give a cuss about shortwave today. I've moved on from it. I don't knock it.
No.
I'm not going to say, oh, just because I'm not doing this, it's dead in the water.
But you're not a politician. You're not a politician who's taking a stance against...
We're not politicians, of course we are.
Why? Well, I want to be PM then.
We are. Journalistically, we're politicians.
No, we're not. We're pundits. We're not politicians.
It's
we're
the same
pundits.
difference.
It isn't. It isn't. No, we do not have to focus on a party political.
Neither does an independent MP.
No, all right, we're independent PMs.
Yeah,
MPs.
Yeah, that's one as well. Anyway,
Trudeau has should have 15 years ago, 20 years ago. Made a mistake, and it is being brought up. It's not being brought up in a particularly nasty way. It's just saying this is what he did, and that's his background.
I hope it fails if it's a political thing.
Well, he will fail. He's not going to suffer about this.
No,
it's a bit embarrassing for him. The thing is, we should really go to why should the press be allowed to pillory celebrities as well. I think
if you just shut up, we'll get on to it. I'll do the next few a bit quick. The Fukushima, it was more than a disaster, to be really honest, when the nuclear thing happened in Japan.
Yeah.
The executives have been found not guilty, and actually, that's right. That's right. You cannot say those guys started the problem. No. And it's the same with everything. I mean, at the end of the day...
If their management and professionalism and their what they did was right and beyond reproach...
No problem.
They should have been cleared.
Yeah.
But how did it happen then?
We haven't got there yet properly. Tony Blair and Dame Edna have joined the lovely John Humphreys. It's the only time I've ever listened to Radio 4 is to dip in and get a fix of John Humphreys.
He was very funny.
He's got the most amazing dry humour.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Really was. And I wish him all the best. You won't lose him off the BBC, boys and girls.
No.
He'll still be doing the Mastermind and other bits and pieces as well. And I'm sure he'll be given the freedom to go and do some stuff on subjects he likes as well, like Trevor McDonald did when he left ITV.
Have you read the poem that Dame Edna wrote for him? I don't get it at all, but this is what Dame Edna wrote for him. You won't grow old, you'll just get nicely mellow. So hug your trees, play Algar, on your cello.
There you go.
Did he play cello?
I think he does play. He's a musician. I don't know what he plays, to be
right.
really honest.
Yeah.
But anyway, John Humphreys was the voice of Radio 4, not just the Today programme, the voice of Radio 4 for 32 years, and what a fabulous, fabulous person it was. The shortwave station I was ranting about, Steve, was Merlin Network 1, abbreviated to MNO. That was me.
And do you know now John Humphreys has gone?
What?
I really am the hardest working man in radio.
Probably. Thousands of Australians and kids around the world are on strike from school today to...
Should they go on strike? Should kids be allowed to go on strike?
Absolutely not. Burger King have banned toys from its, plastic toys from its mills in the UK to reduce plastic waste. Don't really care.
Have they banned plastic burgers as well?
Probably. An Air India flight was halted for about 3 hours due to a swarm of bees that went onto the windscreen of the plane. More seriously, Saudi Arabia has given evidence to show, or what they claim, Iran's involvement in oil attacks, and straight after that, of course, the US comes up with more sanctions on Iran. And I have to say, I know it's the small people that always get hurt over this, but the amount of stuff that's coming out of Iran that shouldn't, in fact, Tesco's
Tesco's have come out of Iran.
They had food products
Yeah.
from Iran.
Oh, right.
So I complained.
Did you?
I did.
What sort of food products? What did they have? Yoghurt?
No, it was dates.
Dates?
Yeah.
What's wrong with dates from Iran?
Well, because they're not supposed to be here.
Interesting
Now they
point,
said technically they could. Technically they could. But the funny thing is, one day later, after I wrote to Sir Terry, because he was the boss then, they took them all away.
I like dates.
I love dates, but and I know it's the little people in Iran that get hurt. But the fact is, you've got to put pressure on Iran's government to make them wake up and smell the coffee.
Yeah, I don't like dates with coffee.
Oh, they're nice.
What, dates and coffee?
Yeah. Have you not had date cake with coffee?
Actually, I have now you mention it.
There you go, you see.
But you see, really, when you think the dates from Iran would have been like... They wouldn't necessarily have been bought from Iran. They could have been bought in France.
No, it's got made in.
Yeah, they might have been. You don't make dates; you grow them, dear.
I know, darlings.
Yeah.
I know. Anyway, very quickly, a jet fighter. Good news. It's crashed in France, and the fun part was one of the pilots was left dangling in his parachute from live power lines there to get the fire brigade out to him.
Why is that a good thing?
Well, it's quite funny. Can you imagine dangling from the...
A Belgian F-16 fighter jet has come crashing down in western France, damaging a house, setting a field ablaze, and leaving 2 pilots dangling by parachute from live power lines.
Yeah, but they got them down.
And you think it's funny?
You should see the pictures. It looks like Thunderbirds. Good afternoon, Anna.
Anna?
Our Anna. That's our Anna from Wednesday nights. Dobry den, Anna.
Dobry den, Anna, ako samaj.
That's not... He's getting better. He is getting better. That means how are you for everybody else? Gareth Thomas has
This is the story of the week, because I tell you what, I'm going to go hysterical. Watch me overmodulate.
Really? You're going to go over-modulating about that?
I certainly am.
Well, just look, because you're going to rant for 20 minutes, aren't you? I know this.
Right, I do. Depends what you say.
Well, you're going to rant, so I'm just checking. Let's just see. Have we got anything else? Well, we with the Pope there. They found the Loch Ness monster.
Yeah, they have. That's brilliant. That's one of the best stories of the week. It's a big wiggly eel,
A giant-sized eel.
30 foot long.
Pope Francis got stuck in a lift in the Vatican.
Was he going up or down?
Water vapour has been found on a new planet, K2-18b.
That's not a planet. That's an asteroid.
It's bigger than Earth.
Well, we have some asteroids out. That's why if we get crashed into by an asteroid,
We're dead.
Finished.
Yeah, I know.
We're dead.
The Duchess of Sussex, that's our Meghan. She's been helping people out of work.
Like when they finish, she helps them down the steps?
Oh, sorry, I missed that, Anna. I do beg your pardon.
Sorry.
Anna said, ahoycha, which means hello to 2 people. And she said, I am good.
I've got very good for you. Velky pivo, prosím.
Yes.
And biele vino. Unchet.
It's shocking. Did the pilots in the plane look like Boris coming down on the zip wire? A bit like that, yes. That's what made me giggle. Anyway, Megan's been helping people who are looking for work, unemployed women, by helping them. It's a charity she set up called Smart
sexist.
Works.
Bit sexist. Why should I help men as well?
I agree.
Equal opportunities.
No.
What's wrong with equal opportunities? Men need to work too, you know.
But I don't. It should be women and it should be men.
That's what I've just said.
I agree with you. Anyway, great important dates to remember. Are you ready?
Yeah.
October.
Yeah.
Sunday the 20th, 21st Monday, 24th, 26th, 28th and 30. Yeah. Go to share.com.
Where have you got where have you got that from? It's the second lead story in the ConsumerWatchFoundation.com.
That's because you put it on the list.
Oh, did I?
Anyway, Cher's on tour again after 15 years, boys. I go, yes!
She's doing Britain. What the Consumer
She looks stunning.
She does, but what the Consumer Watch Foundation story says is, why is she going to Vienna and not going to Bratislava? It's only 80 kilometres up the road. She has snubbed Slovakia. We're all going to have to go on buses to go and see her. And she's a gay icon, and I'm not gay.
I wonder if she remembers making the tea for me.
Oh, what a load of rubbish.
No, because then I'd probably get some VIP tickets. She's lovely.
I've seen her sitting anyway. And
don't go there.
I didn't. I could have done at the time.
Well, you could have. Stop it.
Anyway, also on the ConsumerWatchFoundation.com,
I'm going to send him an invoice.
The new dates for the beginning of Bob Dylan's tour of the United States.
Flipping heck.
What?
I'm being ganged up on.
And then there's also a review of Alice Cooper in Bratislava. It's brilliant.
Bob Dylan.
Read the Consumer Watch Foundation.
I had it all day today. I'm out of it. That's it.
We're putting on the Consumer Watch Foundation as we speak. When Egan's got his finger out of his rings, right?
That's okay to say that, by the way. He's got the jewellers.
He is going to put up the new rare version of the song that completely escapes me now, Tell Me That It Isn't True, by His Royal Bobness, and a new poem by Leonard Cohen, who's dead.
Help me out, Rashid, please. I get Bob Dylan on the Retro Rock Show today.
Yeah? What song? I bet it was like a Rolling Stone on Blowing in the Wind.
No, it wasn't.
Oh. Why do people only think those are the two songs he's ever done?
Probably because the only two decent ones were. No, there's more than that.
That's disgusting.
No, that's wrong.
That's disgusting.
Anyway, it's reminded me.
Yes.
Because they were having a discussion.
Who was?
The boys this morning.
Yeah.
On Retro Rock.
Yeah.
About accents.
Accents.
And I want you guys out there to do me a favour.
Yeah.
If you're like Lee and got a very pronounced accent...
I haven't got a pronounced accent. I'm a Mancunian.
Yeah, you've got a pronounced accent. Goes with the territory. It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. I'd like you guys to send in a little hello to Mark.
Yeah.
And us, Lee and Eric. Do
yeah,
Mark,
yeah.
Lee and Eric. There you go. Mark, Lee and Eric.
Yeah.
A little Mark, Lee and Eric. Hello. And tell us where you live.
Yeah.
And, I don't know, a couple of more bits about yourself. 30 seconds maximum to describe your accent.
Yeah.
For Retro Rock Live.
I think that's a brilliant idea.
And they'll do it because, honestly, the accents that some of them, well, the world's worst producer, he did an accent of Scotland.
Yeah.
I don't know where it came from.
No.
It wasn't from Scotland.
I can't do Scottish accent, can you?
I thought we knew.
Well, could do that. That's not a Scottish accent. That's just a phrase. Okay, the new.
Okay, the new.
Yeah. A wee dram.
Yeah, pint of heavy.
Ah, pint heavy, yeah.
Pint of heavy.
Why does all accents have to do it in a deep voice?
I don't know. He's got a Frank... Yeah, I agree. He's got a Frank side bottom accent.
Is that big ears again?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right.
Keep going, boys. We won't have to talk about Gareth Thomas at this rate. Not so we've got it. We managed to.
It's just a really interesting story.
What did they used to call it in Parliament when they talked forever and said nothing?
Filibustering.
That's thinking. We filibustered for 10 minutes so far.
Sorry, I've still got 10 minutes.
Okay. So anyway, the debate that's going on
Yes.
is, are celebrity private lives no longer fair game? And if it is that the person in question goes out to the press to get free PR, marketing, call it what you will, to do something, then it's fair game.
Well, that really surprised me because that was exactly my argument. I didn't think you'd say that.
Well, no,
yes,
but it is. I mean, I get it when... let's change the context around. If I can understand you, say you've got a soap opera star that's been in the series for 20 years, they have a very serious illness and they die, you're going to report it. Yeah. If you get a person who was in a soap opera 20 years ago, and they said, I'm leaving, I'm retiring, I want to be a private life now, and they never go back to the press, then I don't think they're up for grabs.
Well, I do, because people are interested in them. It's as simple
Would
as...
they remember somebody 20 years ago?
Well, yeah, people do. You know, it's like Dirty Den, isn't it? You know, when he was dying of cancer and living out Romania, I think.
Yeah, he was.
He was hunted down by the press because of his notoriety 20 years ago. You know, the man had killed somebody in France or somewhere. The man had exposed himself to all sorts of ridicule on the internet. The man was an idiot.
But
really.
he kept himself in the limelight.
Well, he started making films in Romania, so he was a fallen god. It was interesting to go and just find out.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, he was still promoting himself off the internet.
Oh, well, no, he wasn't promoting himself on the internet. That's the last thing he was doing on the internet.
No.
What he was doing on the
know
internet.
what I mean. He was still looking for publicity.
He was, but, you know, he said, well, let's try and think of somebody who has vanished from the public eye and then been exposed. Very difficult to come up with, because usually the press does. Minnie Coldwell, there's I actually did her, right, Minnie Coldwell, but she was very nice, and she left Coronation Street and lived quite a fruitful, happy life for X amount of years afterwards, and when she died, people were interested to find out what she'd done, that she'd been in the Folies Bergères, that she'd done all this kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But very quickly, let's take on Gareth Thomas. What disgusted me about this story is, right, that everybody knew Gareth Thomas was gay, right? It wasn't a secret. The HIV thing, I think, was fairly well known as well. But what the BBC did, and what Gareth Thomas did, was attack the press for apparently exposing the fact that he got HIV, right? Now, the press didn't really expose it at all. What had happened, the BBC had sent a press release out about their documentary on Gareth Thomas and the fact that he got HIV.
Because it's in the documentary.
Exactly. So they attacked and pilloried the press for no reason at all, to get publicity for the thing that they were exposing in the first place.
That's my point. You've echoed my point exactly.
Disgusting.
They were looking for free PR, and they got it.
Yeah.
And there's several times I think people just don't get it. One of them was, if you remember a few years ago, when Madonna did a tour, and it was connected to the church.
Yeah.
And the church newspapers, which then spilled over into the mainstream newspapers, actually must have saved Madonna millions.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, all the tickets were sold, and they didn't have to do any adverts.
There's also, that's the sort of thing. Now, in this story, it mentions Gordon Kay, who was in Allo Allo and had this awful brain injury in a car crash. Now, it was Sunday Sport who I actually worked on the Sunday Sport, and there were different rules on the Sunday Sport to most newspapers. And I was quite appalled that and it was a freelance photographer, not a staff photographer, went into Gordon Kay's hospital room and photographed him in bed. I thought that was going too far. There were certain times to do it, like I actually...
if it was a a murderer,
I was gonna
criminal,
say, yeah.
that sort of thing,
Yeah.
who was chained to the bed because they had a heart attack or something. I can kind of get that.
There was Ian Brady is one case in question. I did a lot to chase down Ian Brady while he was in hospital. And we did everything. We didn't get the photographs, but we did everything we could to photograph him. We tried to get wardens to photograph him and things like that. That's a different case. Gordon Kay was a nice bloke. He'd not really caused any ructions. And I think that was wrong. And that's the essence of why we, as celebrity people who write about celebrity, there are rules that you stick to. And that's it. Celebrity is what everybody's interested in.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know. It's just the way it goes. Who was the Constipation Street star who got done for something to do with the swimming pool?
That was Len Fairclough. I exposed him as well, if you forgive the phraseology. Len Fairclough.
I remember
Peter
that.
Adamson, he was
Peter
called.
Adamson, wasn't it?
Yeah. He was pretending to teach children to swim, and he went a bit too far with what he was doing, and the press pilloried him. He was an alcoholic. He wasn't a nice man. I've met him a few times. There was also Peter Dudley out of Coronation Street. We chased him because
Seems that Coronation Street's got the bad people in it.
well, it did at the time. This is it was Peter Dudley, proposition policeman in the toilets.
I'm trying to think of the guy that I interviewed, late 90s.
Out the soaps.
Yeah, he's the longest serving guy in Coronation Street. William
Roach.
Bill Roach, yeah.
Yeah.
There was him, Uri Geller.
Yeah.
Our Dave was there.
Oh, right.
And yours truly on the microphone.
Yeah.
And we were doing this interview. Unfortunately, the only person who got some keys with him of the Yale type was Dave. And it happened to be his office keys.
Right.
And Yuri doubled it up. He stuck it in his hand and it bet like one of those little plastic fish things do. And he actually doubled it up. But the funny thing was, William Roach knew about a lot of this stuff. You could sense it.
Because he was a druid. Or he is a druid.
He's a druid.
Yeah.
But he was just so nice.
He
I don't think he'd hurt a fly.
Well, we as the press got taken to court and lost the case, and I never understood why we lost the case, because it was a joke. The press decided that he was the most boring man in the world.
Exactly.
Yeah, and he took the press to court. I think it was the Sun, I can't remember which paper it was now.
But he won, didn't he?
He won.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. It was a joke, William. Yeah, big Willie.
Girls' blouse.
Yeah.
We can say that now, because
No,
Boris
you
has
can,
said it.
Boris has said that, yeah.
Oh, thank you for all the flowery things on Facebook. Nice one. Hi, Alex. Yeah, we're still here. It's okay, we're not going away. Yes, we'll be back same time next week, don't worry. We'll probably have the buttons in the right places next week, though. That'll be different.
And I won't overmodulate.
No, I'll turn him down, boys and girls.
See, he's turning me down again.
I will. Actually, with these nice big faders I've got now, I can go.
Have you got big faders now?
Look, double size. It's
because you don't get out and about enough.
It's nearly like being at the Bath Punk Company. Anyway, we're getting very close to the end.
Yeah,
we are at the
certainly,
end, really.
Yeah.
We've done an hour.
I know.
We haven't had a punch-up.
No, it's been very pleasant, actually. It has been very pleasant.
How come we didn't disagree today? We didn't.
Because you agreed with everything I said.
Oh, I've got to stop doing that.
It was very nice. It was very pleasant. Big Ears was quite nice.
Yes.
Yeah, and baby, he was nice.
And Debs was there, that's nice.
Yeah, Debs, yeah, she's nice.
She actually, do you know what? She should have been on daytime terrestrial TV. She's so good.
Yeah.
At doing it.
Bit earthy for that.
But it's their loss and QVC's gain.
Yeah, she's good on QVC. She's still on QVC.
Yeah.
She's a very attractive lady, you know.
I know she is. She was, as far as I know, she's the only person to have left QVC that was then allowed to go back.
Is that true?
Yeah, absolutely. Say bye-bye very quickly.
Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.
We'll see you same time, same place next week. Take care, everybody. And thank you for your company. Bye.
This is not the BBC.
the way I understand it, this person came into your home and stole all of your radios,
Every radio I had to my name.
including transistors.
Yes. Well, he left me one earplug, I'll say that for him.
Well, did he take anything else?
Just the radios, and a couple of pieces of fruit.
I see. Well, what...
A banana and 2 Cadota figs. I don't deny him the fruit.
No. Are you and your husband going to replace the radios?
Well, we'll have to. I have nothing to keep me company while I work around the house.
I can imagine.
We have a 10-room house. We had a radio in every room.
Then he stole all 10 radios.
11.
11.
He also stole the car.
You're never more than a minute away from the music on RTI.
RTI.